The sound of my brother's jaw cracking echoed through the entire house. Blood immediately sprayed across the pristine white granite countertops. My knuckles throbbed with a pain I barely registered. Sarah screamed my name, but it sounded like she was underwater. I didn't look at her. I couldn't look at her. My eyes were fixed on him. David. My brother. My best man. The man who helped me build the nursery 6 years ago. He was scrambling backwards on the tile floor, his hand cupped over his mouth, blood seeping between his fingers. He looked terrified, not confused. Terrified, because he knew exactly why I had hit him. He knew before I even threw the paper at his chest. The crumpled ball of paper bounced off his shirt and rolled away. 23andMe results don't lie. Ancestry markers don't lie. The notification on my phone this morning had been innocent enough. Just a curiosity. Just a fun thing to do for my health profile. Then I saw the family tree. I saw the genetic connections. I saw the paternity match. Lily, my 6-year-old daughter. My world. My reason for breathing. She wasn't mine. She shared 25% of my DNA. Not 50%. She was my niece. The math was simple and brutal. Sarah was sobbing now. A guttural wailing sound that made my skin crawl. She tried to reach for my arm. I recoiled like she was burning with radiation. Don't touch me. I said it quietly, but it stopped her dead. I have never spoken to her with that tone in 10 years. It was the voice of a stranger. David tried to speak through the blood. Mark, please listen to me. I stepped forward and kicked him hard in the ribs. The air whooshed out of his lungs. I wanted to kill him. I have never been a violent man. I pay my taxes. I coach Little League. I do the dishes every night. But standing there in that kitchen, I wanted to end his life. Sarah threw herself between us. She was begging now. Please, Mark, stop it. You're scaring me. I scaring you? I laughed, and it sounded manic. The audacity of her fear. You slept with my brother. I screamed it so loud my throat tore. You slept with my brother while we were trying for a baby. You let me raise his child. You let me name her. You let me pay for her school. You let me love her. David groaned on the floor. It happened once, Mark. It was a mistake. A mistake? A mistake is forgetting to buy milk. A mistake is leaving the garage door open. Sleeping with my brother is not a mistake. It is a nuclear bomb. And you just detonated it. Suddenly, the kitchen door creaked open. The sound was louder than the screaming. We all froze. Lily stood there in her pajamas, holding her stuffed rabbit. Her eyes were wide. She looked at me. Then she looked at David on the floor bleeding. Then she looked at her mother crying. Daddy? She whispered. The word hit me like a bullet in the chest. Daddy. The title one had worn like a badge of honor. The title one had built my identity around. It was a lie. A fraud. I looked at her face. Really looked at her. For 6 years I saw myself in her eyes. I saw my chin. I saw my hairline. Now the illusion shattered. I saw David. I saw his nose. I saw the set of his jaw. It was so obvious it made me sick. How had I been so blind? Because I trusted them. I trusted the two people I loved most in the world. Lily took a step toward me. Daddy, what's wrong with Uncle David? Uncle David. The irony tasted like bile. I couldn't do it. I couldn't comfort her. I couldn't lie to her. But I couldn't tell her the truth. I grabbed my car keys off the counter. My hand was shaking so badly, I almost dropped them. Mark, where are you going? Sarah screamed, running after me. We need to talk about this, please. There is nothing to talk about. I'm walking toward the garage. I am leaving. You can explain to your daughter why her father is bleeding on the floor. Or maybe you should let her real father do it. I slammed the door between us. I heard her fists pounding on the wood. I got into the truck. I locked the doors. I started the engine. I saw Sarah run out the front door. She was barefoot in the driveway, waving her arms. I didn't slow down. I backed out, screeching the tires. I put it in drive and floored it. I watched her shrink in the rearview mirror. She fell to her knees on the asphalt. Good. I hope it hurts. I hope the gravel tears her skin. I hope she bleeds like I am bleeding inside. I drove without a destination. The suburbs blurred past me. Happy houses with happy families. Lies. All of it lies. My phone started buzzing on the passenger seat. Sarah. Sarah. David. Sarah. I grabbed the phone. I wanted to throw it out the window. Instead, I blocked her number. Then I blocked him. Then the phone rang again. It was my mother. I stared at the screen. Panic flared in my chest. Did they call her already? Did they try to spin the narrative? I answered. Mom. My voice cracked. Mark, honey, where are you? Her voice was tight. Anxious. She knew. Something in her tone told me she knew something was wrong. Did Sarah call you? No, honey, I haven't spoken to Sarah. Then why are you calling? I just had a bad feeling. Don't lie to me, Mom. Not today. Not right now. Silence on the other end. David called me Mark. He said you found out. I slammed the brakes. The truck skidded to a halt on the shoulder of the highway. Cars honked as they swerved around me. He called you? He said you were crazy. He said you were violent. Violent? He sleeps with my wife, and I am the violent one? Mark, listen to me. Please just breathe. Did you know? The question hung in the air. Static hissed on the line. Mark, it's complicated. Did you know? I screamed at the dashboard. I suspected. The world tilted on its axis. You suspected? Since when? Since Lily was born. She looked so much like David when he was a baby. And Sarah? Sarah was acting strange back then. And you said nothing? You let me raise him? You let me live a lie for 6 years? I didn't want to ruin your family, Mark. You seemed so happy. And without proof, I couldn't just accuse them. You coward. You absolute coward. You protected them. You protected David. He's always been the favorite, hasn't he? Mark, that is not true. It is true. You let him steal my life, and you watched from the sidelines. I hate you. I never thought I could say those words to my mother. But I meant them. I hate you all. I hung up. I threw the phone into the back seat. I put my head on the steering wheel. I started to scream. A raw animal sound. Tears finally came. Hot and burning. I cried until I couldn't breathe. Then I sat up. I wiped my face. Sadness was useless. Sadness was passive. I needed anger. Anger was fuel. I put the truck in gear. I needed a lawyer. I needed to empty the bank accounts. I needed to burn it all down. I pulled into a Wells Fargo parking lot. I marched inside. I looked like a maniac. Blood on my shirt. Knuckles bruised. Hair wild. The teller looked nervous as I approached. I need to withdraw everything. Sir? Joint checking. Savings. Investment accounts. Liquidate everything now. Sir, that is a large amount of money. We can't just hand you cash. Then give me a cashier's check. I don't care. Just get the money out of that account before she touches it. I have identification. It is my money. I earned every cent while she was screwing my brother. I didn't say the last part out loud, but the look in my eyes must have said it. The teller got the manager. The manager looked at my ID, looked at the balances, looked at me. Is everything okay, Mr. Thompson? No, everything is not okay. I am being robbed. So I am robbing myself first. Just do the transaction. 30 minutes later, I walked out with a check for $80,000. It wasn't everything, but it was the liquid cash. She would try to buy groceries tomorrow, and the card would decline. She would try to pay the mortgage, and it would bounce. Good. Let David pay for it. Let the real father provide. I drove to a Motel 6. I couldn't go to a nice hotel. They would find me there. I needed to disappear for a night. I checked in under a fake name. Paid cash for the room. The room smelled like stale cigarettes and bleach. It was perfect. It matched my life. I sat on the edge of the bed. I retrieved my phone. Hundreds of notifications. Texts from Sarah. Texts from David. Texts from my dad. Dad didn't know yet, probably. Or maybe Mom told him. I opened Sarah's texts against my better judgment. Mark, please come home. It's not what you think. We stopped years ago. Lily loves you. You are her father in every way that matters. I threw the phone against the wall. In every way that matters. Biology matters, Sarah. Truth matters. Trust matters. You don't get to redefine fatherhood to cover your sins. I lay back on the bed. I closed my eyes. Images flashed in my mind. Lily's first steps. I was holding her hands. David was there taking the video. He was smiling. Was he smiling because he was proud? Or was he smiling because he knew? Every Christmas, every birthday, every family barbecue, they were laughing at me. The cuckold, the fool, the provider. I paid for the house David slept in. I paid for the food David ate. I paid for the vacations where David came along to help out. God, the vacations. The cabin trip 2 years ago. I went fishing early in the morning. They stayed back at the cabin. Sarah isn't feeling well, David had said. I'll stay and make sure Lily is okay. I thanked him. I thanked him for sleeping with my wife. My stomach twisted. I ran to the bathroom and vomited into the toilet. I heaved until there was nothing left. I rinsed my mouth with tap water. I looked in the mirror. I looked old. 10 years older than yesterday. I needed a plan. I couldn't just hide in a motel forever. I needed to go on the offensive. I grabbed the Yellow Pages. Do they still make Yellow Pages? No. I grabbed my cracked phone. I searched for divorce lawyers. Aggressive. Men's rights. Paternity fraud. I found a name. Stone and Associates. I called the number. It was 7 p.m. on a Friday. I expected voicemail. A woman answered. Stone and Associates. I need a lawyer immediately. Sir, our office is closed. I have $80,000 in a cashier's check. I will pay a retainer tonight if you meet me. Silence. What is the nature of your case? Paternity fraud. Adultery. Incest. Silence again. Can you meet me at the office in 1 hour? I will be there. I cleaned myself up as best I could. I put on the stained shirt. I drove downtown. The city lights blurred. I walked into the office building. Mr. Stone was waiting. He was a shark in a suit. He looked at my face. He saw the violence. Sit down, Mr. Thompson. Tell me everything. I told him. I told him about the DNA test, the percentages, the brother, the mother, the confrontation. He took notes. He didn't flinch. He didn't offer sympathy. He offered strategy. First, we file for emergency divorce. Second, we file a contest of paternity. We demand a court-ordered DNA test to confirm the home kit. We freeze assets. We serve them both. What about Lily? I asked. My voice trembled. That is the hard part, Mr. Thompson. Legally, you are the presumed father. You are on the birth certificate. You have acted as father for 6 years. Depending on the state, you might still be liable for child support. Even if she isn't mine, the law is tricky. It prioritizes the child's stability over the truth. But since it is your brother, that changes things. It proves fraud. It proves they conspired. We can sue for damages. We can sue for emotional distress. We can reimburse every dime you spent raising another man's child. Do it. I said. Burn them. I want her on the street. I want him ruined. I signed the papers. I handed over the retainer. I walked out feeling lighter and darker. I had just declared war on my own family. I went back to the motel. I couldn't sleep. At 3 a.m. my phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. It was David. Using a burner phone? Or a friend's phone? Mark, I am at the hospital. Sarah tried to hurt herself. Please come. I stared at the text. A trap? Or manipulation? She took pills. She is pumping her stomach. She keeps asking for you. I felt a flicker of concern. Old habits die hard. I loved her for 10 years. Then I remembered the kitchen. I remembered the lie. I remembered my mother knowing. I typed back. Call her baby daddy. I'm done. I blocked the number. Was that cold? Yes. Was it cruel? Yes. But they killed the man who would have cared. They killed Mark the husband. Mark the father. Who was left was Mark the victim. And Mark the victim didn't care. I finally slept. A dreamless black void. I woke up to banging on the door. Police. Open up. My heart hammered. Did she die? Did I push her too far? I opened the door. 2 officers stood there. Mark Thompson? Yes. We have a report of domestic violence and grand theft. Your wife claims you assaulted her and her brother-in-law and stole all the family money. I laughed. I actually laughed. She called the cops on me. After everything, she was trying to control the narrative. She was trying to get ahead of the story. Officers. I stepped back. I was assaulted with the truth yesterday. I punched my brother because he is the father of my child. And the money is mine. The officers looked at each other. Sir, we need you to come down to the station. Am I under arrest? Not yet. But we need a statement. I grabbed my jacket. Call Mr. Stone. My lawyer. He will meet us there. The ride to the station was silent. I sat in the back of the squad car. People watched from the sidewalk. They saw a criminal. They didn't see a man whose soul had been ripped out. At the station, they put me in an interrogation room. I waited. Mr. Stone arrived within 20 minutes. He looked furious, but not at me. At the police. My client is the victim of paternity fraud. The assault was a moment of passion induced by extreme shock. The money is marital property he had access to. Unless you are charging him, let him go. The police hesitated. Sarah had bruises on her arm from where I grabbed her. No, I didn't grab her. I kicked David. Maybe she got bruised stopping me. David's jaw was wired shut. That was the problem. Grievous bodily harm. David hadn't pressed charges yet. But Sarah had called it in. Mr. Stone leaned in. If they press assault charges, we will counter-sue for fraud and intentional infliction of emotional distress. We will drag their incestuous affair through every newspaper in the state. Does Sarah want that? Does she want the PDA to know? Does she want her boss to know? The detective left the room. He came back 10 minutes later. You are free to go, Mr. Thompson. The victims have recanted the request for charges. They just want the money returned. Tell them to go to hell. I said. I walked out of the station. Mr. Stone walked with me. That was close, Mark. You need to be careful. No more contact. No more violence. Let me handle it. I nodded. But I wasn't done. I needed my stuff. I needed my clothes. My laptop. My documents. I can't go back to the house. Not alone. Request a police escort. Civil standby. I went straight to the desk, Sergeant. I want to request a civil standby to retrieve personal belongings. They assigned an officer. We drove to the house. My house. The house I painted. The house I mowed the lawn of. Sarah's car was in the driveway. David's car was gone. I walked up the path with the officer behind me. I unlocked the door. The house was quiet. Sarah was sitting on the couch. She looked wrecked. Pale. Eyes swollen. Bandage on her arm from the fall. She stood up when she saw me. Mark. She saw the cop. She stopped. I didn't speak. I walked past her. I went to the bedroom. I grabbed a suitcase. I threw clothes in. Suits. Jeans. Shoes. I went to the safe. I took my passport. My birth certificate. I left hers. I left Lily's. Lily. Where was she? Probably at my mom's. Or her real grandparents'. I walked back to the living room. Sarah was crying silently. Mark, please just talk to me. The officer stepped forward. Ma'am, please step back. I can explain, Mark. We can fix this. We can go to counseling. Counseling? I stopped at the door. I turned around. The anger was gone, replaced by a cold, hollow emptiness. You can't fix DNA, Sarah. You can't fix 6 years of lying to my face. Every time you kissed me, you knew. Every time you watched me play with her, you knew. You made me into a joke. I didn't mean to hurt you. You destroyed me. I opened the door. I will see you in court. And Sarah? She looked up. Tell David he needs to start saving up for college. I'm not paying for his mistakes anymore. I left. I sat in the truck with my suitcase. I was homeless, childless, wifeless, but I was free. The truth had set me free, but the truth burned like acid. I looked at the house one last time. Then I drove away. I didn't look back. Now I sit here in this new apartment. It's been 3 days. The legal war has started. My phone is full of voicemails from family members taking sides. Most are on their side. Think of the child. Forgive and forget. Family is everything. Family is everything. That's why they betrayed me. Because they were family. I have a choice to make now. Mr. Stone says we can offer a settlement. If I sign a NDA, non-disclosure agreement, if I agree to keep the paternity secret, they will walk away from alimony. They will let me keep my pension. But I have to pretend to be Lily's dad publicly. I have to let them save face. For Lily's sake. So she doesn't grow up known as the product of an affair between brothers. If I refuse, we go to trial. It becomes public record. Everyone knows. Lily knows eventually. It will ruin her childhood. But it will vindicate me. It will expose them for what they are. I look at the photo of Lily I still have in my wallet. She is innocent. She didn't ask for this. Do I burn them down and burn her with them? Or do I swallow the poison one last time to protect the child who isn't mine? I am holding the pen over the NDA. My hand is shaking. Justice? Or mercy? I don't know who I am anymore. But I know one thing. I will never forgive them. What would you do? Burn the world? Or save the girl?